So, hi everybody, I'm Rebecca Kelly from Flat Living, and I'm here today with Carl Lewis from Dwellant. Thanks for your time, Carl.
Oh, no problem. Thank you very much.
So, we're going to be having a chat about property management software, but first of all, could you introduce yourself, please?
Yeah, absolutely. So my name's Carl Lewis. I head up the new business team at Dwellant and am responsible for bringing all of our new clients onto the Dwellant platform.
Sounds like a really exciting role. You must be meeting lots and lots of new people.
Yeah, absolutely. Certainly over video call as well recently, but yeah, lots of new people, lots of members of the industry, and lots of representatives of property managers.
Excellent. So, could you tell me first off a bit about Dwellant and how long you've been around for, ethos around the company, that type of thing?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, Dwellant itself has been in business for about 13 years now. So we started off with our founder creating the software to actually solve some issues that he had in a building that he was part of. So they weren't getting on with their managing agent. The communications weren't very good. There was no kind of real transparency going on. So the Dwellant system was actually created to ease that and to take care of those situations. But it was quite quickly realized that there wasn't too many other things like it in the market, and it was a very, very good tool for easing those kind of issues that property managers faced as well as the residents were facing. So it very quickly grew from there. We've integrated with a huge number of different clients that service the property management industry to make sure that we can offer a full range of services. And we've expanded into build to rent, into commercial property management, mixed use developments, and all over the country really to aid property managers. And that's part of our ethos is making the lives of property managers easier and improving the lives of the residents as well.
Perfect. So it sounds like it's really grown and developed, like you say, from something that was just a simpler solution to begin with, that has now become something that's used by lots of different people and different types of clients.
Absolutely. Yep, absolutely. Our clients now range from kind of one or two branch property managers that are either just starting and they might be using something like Xero or Sage as their accountancy package, which we have partnerships and integrate with. All the way up to big national brands that everyone has heard of and would recognize, that use the top tier of accounting or property management accounting solutions, and then have Dwellant sit on top of that to really help with the front facing and the admin side. We've got integrations with all of the big accountancy packages now, so Cube, Tramps, Yardi, Propman. We also work with Sage, with Xero, but we also work with others. So we've got integrations into Salesforce, Microsoft Dynamics. We work with Cardinus, Foresight, all sorts of different companies now that have integrated with Dwellant, and we've made it as easy as possible to integrate with them. So we've got a fully open API and the Dwellant Data Gateway that we install on our client systems.
Perfect. And what does that integration then enable people? What does that give them?
Sure. So the main purpose of the integration is that we use it for passing the invoicing back to an accountancy solution. But we also, it's a two-way feed. So all of the resident information, the units information, the budgets and everything like that are set up in the accountancy package get passed over to Dwellant. So you're not doubling up on any data. Something that is updated or changed in Dwellant gets pushed back down to the accountancy solution. So again, you're not having to double entry any data, and both systems are kept up to date. But the main thing is our invoice processing. So everything, for what we would say kind of 90% of the workflow is done on Dwellant. And then when everything's been approved, when the invoice has been processed, it gets pushed down into the accountancy package. It's pre-coded, it's ready for payment, and it gets put in their payment queues.
Perfect. That's good. Thank you. That was really good to understand how it works in real life and what you provide. Could you also just give us an overview of the software? So if you were describing Dwellant in just a couple of sentences, what it actually allows people to do?
Yeah, sure. So I would say it's a platform that enables complete communication with your buildings. So with the residents, with the directors, with your on-site teams, concierge, everyone that's in the building, you've got full, open, transparent communications with. But it's also very much about automating the property manager's kind of workflows. So taking as much admin work away from them and automating as much of the processes as possible. So what we can see up on the screen at the moment is the Dwellant dashboard. So this is where most of our clients spend a lot of their time. And what we can see here is absolutely everything that's happening with this particular person's accounts. So this would be all of the buildings that this person manages, everything they're responsible for. It would all feed into this central dashboard. So we can see here any requests or tasks that have been assigned to this user, any invoices they need to process and approve, anything that's yet to be acknowledged, anything running late is all fed into here, and we can click on any of these live tiles and get eyes on exactly what's happening. One of the principles on Dwellant is you never have to really search for anything. It's all presented to you, it's easy to find, and it's very comprehensive. In that spirit as well, just below here, we have an event log. And that automatically logs absolutely everything that's happening within this person's account. So this would go across multiple buildings. It could be comments that have been added. It could be invoices coming into the system. It could be maintenance issues that are being raised by the residents. It's all logged automatically into the system for us. So nothing's ever lost and you never have to save anything. We can also go and look at our building lists, so we can see all of the buildings we're responsible for. Again, any requests, any events that are taking place broken down by building. We can also see our repeated event or planned maintenance calendar, and we can put this into a day, week, or monthly view. And I'm going to do the monthly, and that'll give us a view over the course of a year. And we can then actually see every one of these little colored tiles is an event that's going to be taking place. And a lot of these can be automated. You can preset them, you can set team members to take care of them, or you can actually put this out to external suppliers and contractors. So just hovering over one of these, we've got a fire risk assessment view due to take place. In another building, we've got a gas safety certificate due. And in another building, we've got emergency lighting checks that need to be performed. But we can go into any one of these events. We can see all of the details. We can see who's handling it, who's responsible, how often it's happening, when it's taking place. And you can also automate the communication. So this will actually be communicated to the entire building that a fire risk assessment report is going to be taking place on the 10th of July. So what I'm going to do now is we're actually going to jump into a building. Very easy to do that. We literally just type the name of the building. It will pull up from our database all of the buildings that match, and we can jump straight into the admin side of one of our buildings here. Now, there's a lot of things that we can do here. I won't be able to take you through everything, but I'll give you a quick overview. The first thing we can do is we can add a posting to this building. So that's great for adding updates, news, information about projects that are taking place within the building. And that can be then viewed by everyone looking at their portal. You can also preference that into different member groups. So tenants can receive different information than residents or owners. So everybody is getting a personalized view within their portal. What I'm going to do from here is jump into a residence view. So we can just go to setup, we can go to users, we can see all of the people associated with this building just here. We can very quickly just choose one of these guys and we can impersonate them and jump into their view. And this will then put everything into the residence view. So this is one of our bespoke design portals for a building. And we can design these to look however our client would like them to appear. So fully branded, fully designed, different color schemes, buttons, functionalities, they can all be built in as part of the residence portal. And we also do this as a smartphone app as well on either Android or Apple. Now, what we put on here is, again, kind of up to the client, but we really encourage the use of the residence guide. So we take the existing residence guide, we break it down into a PDF or digital format, And then we upload it into the portal. We make it searchable. So if anyone wants to go in and view the security and safety information, they can do things like health and safety incident reports. They can look at the fire safety and evacuation plans for the building, and they can just get at the information that they are interested in finding. We've designed them to be, a friendly place to be. We even have things like neighborhood sections, so we can see things like local knowledge, what cafes, bars, shops are around your building, and we can go into any one of those, and we can see exactly what we've got surrounding the development. We can get directions to those. We can communicate with them as well. So it's not just kind of the typical information that you'd find in a residence guide. We can have all of this additional information to really kind of build the community around the building. This is also functional as well. So we saw we could do a health and safety incident report there, but we can also have license to alters and LP1 and LP2 forms on here. So those can be completed completely digitally. All of the parties involved receive the information, and they can track the progress of it on here as well. In a similar way, we can add requests. So if a resident does need to raise something, all they have to do is click the button. They can push this through to the managing agent or to on-site teams or concierge, and they simply just give this a subject line. They give it a brief description. They can say whether it's affecting different areas of the building, like a communal area. They can choose how they want to be updated. They can add any attachments, and then they just click on OK, and that raises a maintenance request directly to, in this case, the managing agent. Now, what actually happens with that, coming on to the next feature that I'd like to take you through, is that will land straight into our platform here. And what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to add one of these manually so that we can see the process, because the property managers themselves would be able to raise these. It doesn't rely solely on the resident. The idea being that the resident uses the portal, but if they have sent an email in, if they have maybe called the managing agent directly, we can still log it in the system. So we can choose our building that they've called from. We can say what flat or unit they're from, and the system will know exactly who that person is. And then that brings up this form here, and it's the same as the resident would fill in. So we would just again add our information in here. We could choose a target completion date for when we'd like this complete, as well as a next action date, and then we can save that in the system. And as soon as we do that, that will actually create that as a job, and we can start to work on this as a property manager. We can see all the key information. But we can change the importance of this. We can change the audience that's going to be updated. We can see that it's in progress, and we can see who it's been assigned to. But the really clever bit, and this is where we integrate very heavily with all of the different accountancy packages, can turn this directly from a request into either a quotation to multiple contractors or a work order or purchase order. And it's this part here where we have a direct integration into the accounting solutions. So the first thing we'd do is we would choose our contractor that we'd like to assign, and we would have all of the property manager's contractors and approved suppliers already on the system. They can also search through all of Dwellant's contractors. We've got about 25,000 on the system, and we also integrate with Safe Contractor. So any contractors that are part of Safe Contractor, the property manager could search through that database and opt to use one of those if they'd like to. And it will show them all of the information they need, things like their rates, their contact information, whether or not they've used them at this building previously, and if they haven't, how far away they are from the building. So you'd want to go for a contractor that's nice and close. It will also show them their document status. So here it's giving us a little warning. And if we go into that, it will tell us that one of their required pieces of documentation is out of date or missing. So it's telling us that really we shouldn't be using this contractor until they've updated their information. But I'm going to override that just for today. I can then set a price as a guide. I can add any additional information. I can choose whether any health and safety RAMs are required. So I could click on here, and that will show me things like working from height or confined spaces if I need it. And then the really clever part is I'm going to pre-code this work order. So all I do here is I choose how I'd like to recover the cost. So we're going to go for a single or a group schedule, but this could be, say, directly from the tenant if we needed to. And I'm then going to choose the schedule name. Now this matches up to how it would be set in the accountancy solution. So all of these codings and references would match, as would the expense types. So all the codings and references would match. And just by using those two drop downs, I've pre-coded the work order. So when the invoice lands back in our system, we know exactly what it's for, we know how it's being recovered, and we can write that back down into the accountancy solution once it's been approved. Now, this would actually go to the contractor. They would have a login to the Dwellant system. It costs the contractor absolutely nothing to have that login. So they can receive all of the jobs digitally. They can respond to them, acknowledge them. They can download their work orders. They'd go out and do the job. And then once they're happy with everything, they would upload their invoice or drag and drop it onto the system. And that would come straight through to our property manager's side of the platform for them to be able to view. And I'll just show you one that we've got that's been sent through previously rather than taking you through the whole process. So we could come up here to our invoice list. And this will show us essentially any invoices that are awaiting our approval. So all I could do here is if I wanted to finish working on this job, I can actually process this invoice. And again, a really key thing here is it's going to bring everything together for us. So we don't have to hunt around for the invoice. We don't have to upload anything. There's no looking through emails. Everything's brought together on this one page. We can see all of the information that the invoice has. We can see on the left-hand side here how we've actually proportioned the cost. And if we can make any changes to this, we can dispute this back to the contractor if we need to. But if we're happy, all we actually have to do is confirm the gross amount. And as long as that matches the invoice, it gives us our green approve button and we click on approve. And in this instance, this has actually gone through to the next stage for our accounts payable team to approve, but that could go to a senior property manager, it could go to a director. You can have a whole hierarchy of approval for your invoices. And then essentially the accounts team would log on, they would view that invoice in pretty much the same way as we've just done there, and then they'd sign it off. And as soon as they do that, it would go automatically through to the accountancy package and be put into the payment queue for processing. There's a couple of features I'll tell you about, but I won't take you through today. For example, we can set contracts up for buildings. So in those buildings where you have things like window cleaning, groundskeeping, interior cleaning, and you've got contracts in place with a company that does that, they might even do it across multiple buildings for you. You're normally getting those regular invoices each month, the same amount for the same building from the same company, but it's still a manual process to pay them and put them onto the system. What we can do is we set that up as a contract against the building in Dwellant, and then when that invoice comes into the system, it compares it against the contract, it checks that it's for the correct amount for the correct building. You can set a tolerance, so if it comes in 5% above expected, that's okay. But providing everything matches, it will automatically approve that invoice and it will go straight down to the accountancy package for payment. So the property managers never have to look at them. And that is saving a huge amount of time from our clients having to just, regularly look at these invoices. Instead of looking at them, they're approved automatically, and if there's any issues, the system will bring it to their attention as a manual step.
Perfect. So I guess as well, if you then wanted to see, if you were looking back over the last few months as well, you'd still be able to see that process had happened when you were looking at the building or
Absolutely.
the job related to it.
Absolutely. Again, everything's logged in the platform, and you can see here in our event log, everything we've just done there by adding that request, commenting on it and processing the invoice has all automatically been logged in the platform. They can even, if they've got the correct permissions, up here we can see our user is a vet. If they need to, they can actually switch users. So we could go into someone else's account, and if, say, Tom is away sick or on holiday, we can get a view of the requests that are coming in to his side of the platform. So it's very easy to provide cover for other team members as well. The last thing that I'll just mention, again, I won't take you through it as part of the demo, but we've recently partnered with a company called Energy Portfolio, who I'm sure people are familiar with. And we've come up with a new offering to the industry as well called Seamless Utilities. And Energy Portfolio are dealing with the actual utilities side of things.
Mm-hmm.
But when those invoices come into our system, again, we set them up as a utility contract. So those energy and gas and invoices that are coming into the platform, again, are all processed automatically. And that's been a real thorn in our side for a lot of our clients, a real kind of thing that's taking up massive amount of time. And we've actually now solved that so that they get not only the best deals on their actual energy supply, but they don't have to deal with these manual invoices coming in that they're having to trawl through by hand. These are all automated. They come into the system, they compare it, they make sure they're correct, and they push them down for payment.
Perfect. Which things, again, all of this is just things that are going to save so much time for the property manager to actually allow them to focus on the things that need their time rather than all kind of the back end work.
We also understand that people need help every now and then. So we've got a really great team that sits behind this. So not only do we provide full training on everything that takes place for all of our clients, but they've always got access to a really knowledgeable team that sits behind Dwellant. And they can reach them at any time. They can give them a call, they can email them. And we've actually got this live support option just down here. I can't for some reason see that at the moment, but it's just here. All they have to do is click on that, and it's going to open up our live chat feature. And here they can actually search through this on all of our articles to get video guides and information on different processes. But if they're a little bit stuck, they can just click on live chat, and that's going to open up directly to one of our team who will be able to give them some live support.
So reassuring, because I know I've used software systems, and yes, you have all of the help guides and all of that kind of stuff, but sometimes you go, actually, I just want to talk to somebody who's going to just point, tell me the answer, point me in the right direction, and that's a 5-minute conversation rather than me trawling through stuff. So that looks like a really, really helpful feature. And you've just said as well that it's actually people in this live chat answering the questions.
Absolutely. Yep. It's our customer service team that are incredibly knowledgeable on the platform, but as well as that, they understand some of the issues that our regular clients face. So, they're really well placed to be able to solve any questions and guide people through the platform to make sure that they can achieve what they need to.
Fantastic. That's really helpful. Thanks for sharing that with us as well. That's really good to see.
Oh, no problem at all.
Thanks for your time so much this morning, Carl. It's been really good to understand more about how Dwellant works and the benefits that it can provide to both the users and the property managers as well. So if people want to find out more, get in touch with you, with Dwellant, where can they find you?
Absolutely. So first of all, thanks very much for having me. It's been a pleasure speaking with you as well. Now, if anyone does want to take a look at Dwellant, we're here to help. All you have to do is visit our website, which is dwellant.com, and you'll get loads of information that you can look at and that you can download. But also, it's really easy to just click a button and contact us, and that will send straight through to us, and we'll be able to contact you immediately to arrange your demonstration. You can book directly into our diaries as well if you'd like to have a 15-minute conversation or a 60-minute demonstration. And you can also find us in some of the publications as well. I'm sure you've probably seen some of our advertisements on LinkedIn. So anything that you do will always lead you through to our website, and you can reach out to us that way.
That's perfect. Thanks, Carl. We look forward to seeing you soon. Thanks for your time today.
Fantastic. Thanks very much, Rebecca.